Galeão Air Force Base (BAGL) is a base of the Brazilian Air Force located in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It is named after Praia de Galeão, located in front of the original passenger terminal of the airport and presently the passenger terminal of the Brazilian Air Force. It was at this beach that in 1663 the galleon Padre Eterno was built. It shares some facilities with Rio de Janeiro Galeão International Airport. History. The history of the base begins on the 10th of May 1923 when a school of naval aviation was established near the Galeão beach. On the 22nd of May 1941, with the creation of the Air Force Ministry in Brazil, the school became the Galeão Air Force Base and a terminal and hangars were built at the location and the runway extended. Those buildings still exist. When Brazil declared war against the Axis on the 22nd of August 1942, the aerodrome began to be intensively used by the Allies for military operations related to the World War II. With the end of the war, the increase of tonnage of aircraft flying on international routes and number of passengers, and being Santos Dumont Airport unable to handle all the traffic, international flights gradually shifted to the site of the Air Force Base. Although it informally handled long-haul international traffic, services were however precarious and a decision was made to build a brand new passenger terminal opposite the Air Force Base, across the runway. On the 1st of February 1952 the passenger terminal was opened and public and military services were separated. After the completion of a new passenger terminal in 1977, the original public facility became the passenger terminal for passenger flights operated by the Brazilian Air Force. Since then it is informally known as Terminal de Correio Aeronacional. On the 3rd of May 1982, a Royal Air Force Avro Vulcan bomber was intercepted by the aircraft of the 1º Grupo de Aviação de Caça based at Santa Cruz Air Force Base. The Vulcan had finished the Operation Black Buck 6 during the Falklands War and was returning to Ascension Island when it suffered technical problems. While attempting to refuel from a tanker aircraft, the tip of the probe broke. With insufficient fuel to return to its base at Ascension Island, the Vulcan declared Mayday. It was intercepted upon entering Brazilian airspace and made to land at Galeão Air Force Base. The Brazilian aircraft flew back to Santa Cruz Air Force Base having successfully accomplished the mission. The Vulcan and its crew were interned at Galeão Air Force Base for 9 days before they were returned on the 11th of June, when diplomacy of the countries involved clarified the incident. Units. The following units are based at Galeão Air Force Base, subordinated to the command of the 5th Air Force, which is dedicated to transport aviation. 1st Squadron of the 1st Transportation Group, the Gordo Squadron, using C-130H and KC-130H aircraft for transport and aerial refueling missions. 1st Squadron of the 2nd Transportation Group, the Condor Squadron, using C-99A aircraft for transport, including for the missions of the Brazilian Air Force passenger services. 2nd Squadron of the 2nd Transportation Group, the Corsario Squadron, using KC-137 aircraft for aerial refueling and transport missions. Subordinated to the command of the 3rd Regional Air Force Command. 3rd Squadron of Air Transportation, the Pioneiro Squadron, using C-95 and C-95B and C-97 aircraft for transport, logistics, and humanitarian missions. Additionally, the Batalhão de Infantaria de Aeronáutica Especial de Galeão, an infantry battalion of the Brazilian Air Force that guards the base, is also based at Galeão Air Force Base. Accidents and incidents. The 25th of February 1960, a United States Navy BAGL R-61 registration 131,582 flying from Buenos Aires to Rio de Janeiro Galeão Air Force Base, collided in the air over Guanabara Bay close to the Sugarloaf Mountain with a real transportes aéreos Douglas DC-3 registration PPAXD operating. Flight 751 from Campos dos Goitacazes to Rio de Janeiro Santos Dumont. The probable causes of the accident are disputed but include error of personnel and faulty equipment. Of the 38 occupants of the American aircraft, 3 survived. All 26 passengers and crew of the Brazilian aircraft died. The 12th of November 1990, a Brazilian Air Force de Havilland Canada DHC-5 Buffalo registration FAB 2350 crashed upon takeoff from Galeão Air Force Base. Of the 9 occupants, 1 survived. The 2nd of August 2011, a Brazilian Air Force Cessna C-980 Grand Caravan registration FAB 2735 en route from Canoas Air Force Base to Galeão Air Force Base, crashed near the location of Bom Jardim da Serra. All 8 occupants died. Access. The base is located 20 kilometers from Rio de Janeiro downtown in the district of Governador Island.